Hi, I'm filming and I'm not really okay, but I'm okay with not being okay. And I'm having the courage to come on here and still show up to my commitment to post on YouTube, even though I'm going through hard times right now. Because I am posting every other day, but what you might not understand is that I batch film for a couple days in a row, and then I have a couple days where I'm free to explore, to read, to gather my new thoughts for my new videos. And I just went through a period right now where I wasn't filming videos and just kind of going through life, and it has been hard. And I've been hit by this period of depressive symptoms. And I'm not saying that I have depression. I do not have clinical depression, but I do have symptoms where my mood is less elevated, my thoughts and beliefs, my hope is gone, my inspiration, none, no motivation, difficulty being disciplined. Life just feels really hard right now. And my channel is Be Unfiltered, so I'm being unfiltered right now telling you this. And it's tough because I have a goal to come on YouTube to inspire you, to motivate you, to make you believe in yourself. And right now it's really hard for me to do that for you because it is really hard to do it for myself. But eventually I realize the way that I take care of myself, the way that I talk to myself and heal myself is the best way that I can help heal others. So I'm going to be real with you right now and tell you as best as I can what I'm going through and how I'm trying to overcome this. And perhaps you're going to gain value from that. Like, that is my only goal, is for you to leave my video and feel like you've gained value, a new perspective, inspiration, hope, something different, something that will elevate your life. So hopefully I can do that for you. So it's been a couple days since my life has been feeling very gray, very dark. I have massive headaches or pressure in my head. I have one right now and it's really distracting. I have so much sadness. I'm just lost and hopeless. It's so foreign for me to feel this way. It has only happened a couple times in my life, but this is really heavy right now. And I'm trying to find a way to understand what is going on by applying basically the advice that I give others to myself. Every YouTube videos that I post are things that I've gathered along the way by reflecting on my life, by journaling, by putting in my notes what I have been going through. But oftentimes when I give you advice, it's from experiences that have happened in the past, but not as recent for me. But this, what I'm going through right now, is so current that it's a little bit overwhelming, and I'm trying to give you advice when I have struggles understanding what's happening right now. But I'm going to show you how I'm going about it. And the first thing that I want to talk about is referring to a video that I posted a couple weeks ago about feeling depressive is normal and healthy. This video did not get really popular on my channel, but to me it was extremely revolutionary when I heard about that concept. It comes from the book, The Road Less Traveled. I actually have it right here. That's what it looks like. One of the best books I've ever read, honestly. I really have to breathe. I feel like I'm not breathing. The chapter about feeling depressive is normal and healthy really caught my eye because I never understood what was the purpose of feeling depressed. It always felt very negative. But if it was normal and healthy, and I'm going through this right now, why? What does it mean? And basically, it means that you're ready to change because you are feeling depressive since you are experiencing some type of grief from the death of your old self. It's like your old self needs to die and you're ready to change and level up and become a greater version of yourself. And you're feeling depressive because you have to go through that death and rebirth into this new person. I know it sounds very woo-woo, but to me that makes sense. It's something about my past self that needs to change. But now the hardest part is what needs to change? And this is where I struggle. I'm looking at my life and I'm trying to wonder, what is it about my life that I need to let go? because clearly I'm getting the signs that something is off and that something needs to change in my life. For a couple days, I was not really paying attention to what needed to change. I was kind of just in survival mode, honestly. I was going through the motion, and after a couple days, I realized that something was off, because it's not something that just happened one day and then the next day I felt better. It had been a couple days where I was feeling this depressive feelings. I know that ultimately time will heal and I would feel better, but now that I'm aware that the feelings that I'm having are supposed to tell me that I need to change, I feel like I can be proactive about it and have an active role into making this process accelerate and changing the way I want to change faster than it has to happen. I don't know why I'm so out of breath. I don't know if I'm going to keep this in the editing, but I'm struggling. So there's a little insight I want to talk about where it's so easy to self-sabotage when you're not aware. Because when I started feeling gray, I realized that after a couple days, my whole environment was toxic. My apartment was a disaster. I had clothes everywhere. I wouldn't do my laundry. I had dishes in the sink. I wouldn't make my bed, which I've always made my bed. I wouldn't make my bed anymore. My blinds were always down. There was just like so many little things about my apartment that I realized was not keeping it healthy and clean. That's something that most people do when they self-sabotage, is they create an environment subconsciously that tells you that you deserve to be in this type of environment. You deserve to be in chaos, in dirt, in disorganized space. And it wasn't until that day where I looked around and I realized that my place was a mess, which is so unlike me, I had to do something different. I had to at least get my environment straight. So if you're going through a hard time right now, I think that that's one thing that you can actually control. Just make sure your place is clean, because that was kind of like the first domino of the domino effect of getting better, because I am feeling so much better now than I did a couple of days ago. Imagine that. And it started when I decided to clean my environment, because that's something that doesn't require focus. It requires a little bit of energy, but it's a little bit not as much thinking. You just do it and you feel better and you see progress right away. So I just cleaned my whole apartment and I immediately started to feel a little bit clearer. I wasn't feeling extremely happy, but at least I felt like I was getting a step forward in the right direction. So your environment is an example of a way that you self-sabotage, but I keep saying in my videos that it's so important to know yourself, because there are so many other ways that you probably sabotage yourself. I know myself now. I know myself much better than I thought, because in the past couple days, I could feel the cravings that I would have to soothe myself, because some of the bad toxic behaviors that I would have for myself, some patterns would be, for example, watching TV. I do not watch TV at all, because I don't even have streaming services, so I can't even watch TV. But I sense myself wanting to watch something to distract myself, because I didn't want to face what I was feeling right now. I could tell something was wrong because I was looking at my TV. I have a TV. I don't know for what reason, but I do have a TV. And I was looking at it, feeling like I wanted to watch it because I wanted to escape. Another way that I would sabotage would be by self-medicating. I'm not going to go too much in details about that, but that would be a way that I would try to soothe myself. Other ways is to isolate myself, literally not respond to messages, or if I would respond overly happy so that people would leave me alone and feel like I'm doing fine. And then finally, I would binge eat. I would use food as a way to forget how I'm feeling, to give me some sort of dopamine. So it's so important that you know yourself, because I knew myself and I had those cravings to do those things, I realized that I was only doing that to escape this reality right now, this feelings that I was having. And that if I did indulge in those vices, I wouldn't be able to actually heal, and I would just push my problems until later. I'm actually trying to be proud of myself for being like that. I don't feel proud, but I'm telling myself to be proud, because I know it takes a lot of courage to acknowledge your shortcomings, acknowledge where you want to be toxic, and not follow through with that. So this is why it's so important for you to keep doing your mindfulness, your meditation when things are going well, because when things are not going well, that's when it's going to be useful. That's when you're going to actually apply what you've been practicing. And honestly, if you're someone that actually wants to have an impact and build your personal brand and get more known and create a community, I would suggest you start a YouTube channel. I think it's such a great idea because part of me felt responsible to heal and take accountability of growing from this, because I knew that I could help others go through it because I have this YouTube channel. If I didn't have this channel, I feel like I would have been easily able to hide and not go through this because no one would know I'm going through this. But having this channel was really a way for me to take this seriously and be active about it and try to find a solution. And this is where I'm getting at, because I did find somewhat of a solution. And I'm going to post more videos because I don't want my videos to be super long. So I'm going to do a couple batches of this concept because there's a lot I want to talk about, even though I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. But I've journaled a lot in the past few days and I just know I'm going to have some things to say. But here's what I'm getting at. If you ever feel like the way that I feel right now, the way that I was able to get myself going and start to feel better was, 1, clean my apartment. We've been through that. But 2, to actually sit with yourself and journal. Maybe you're someone that can actually think things through, but for me, I have a very difficult time to think my thoughts. I have to kind of see it. I have to write it to actually acknowledge and understand what I'm going through. But journaling was the key. Did I feel like I wanted to journal? Fuck no. I did not feel like doing that, but I did it anyways. I sat down, pen and paper, wrote it down, and got to the root cause of this. And I guess there's 3 steps that you can think of when you're journaling. The first one is I want you to identify your emotions. What are you feeling? I was feeling sad. I'm still feeling sad. But I was feeling sad. I was feeling guilty. I was feeling guilty to be in pain because I felt like I wasn't allowed to feel pain because there's nothing happening in my life that's bad. At least that's what I thought. I was feeling jealous. There's a lot of jealousy I was experiencing and I was suppressing. I was feeling like I wasn't enough and I was embarrassed by who I am. So there's a lot of feelings that I have identified. But then once you identify those emotions, you have to treat your emotions with respect because they're trying to tell you something. So what I was asking myself, what is my sadness telling me? So I was trying to detach myself from the feeling. And you know the movie Inside Out, where it's like those little characters that are in your head that represent your emotions? I was trying to imagine like I had that emotion come and visit me, that little dude, and be there to tell me something. And I was questioning, what are you trying to tell me? What is it that you're trying to make me realize right now? Because that would be the insight into what needs to change about my life. And that goes into the second point, where I want you to look at your life based off the answers that you're figuring out from your emotions, and then realize what in that can you control. You have to be very active about it. Take some responsibility and realize that there are things that you can actually control in your situations, but there are things that you cannot control, and that is fine. You let those go. You have to be at peace with the things that you cannot control. So I started looking at what I can control and have an action plan around that. And then the third point is basically asking yourself, what is the meaning behind my pain? That to me is important to finish off on that note because it reminds you that feeling that pain is not a bad thing. Feeling these emotions that are depressive is not bad. It's if you feel bad for yourself or feel that emotion that it becomes way more suffering than it needs to. But don't be upset. Like I'm talking to myself right now. Don't be upset that you're feeling pain right now. Every pain is valid. I'm talking to myself right now. Every pain is valid. You cannot deny how you feel, but don't put a double arrow in your chest just because you're upset that you have pain. Those are the 3 steps I want you to start with journaling. And I hope that you got something out of this video. I'm sorry if it wasn't like the most inspiring video of all time, but this is a growing opportunity for me, and hopefully it can help you prevent future pain. Or maybe if you are not going through this hard time right now, but you eventually probably will, you will remember this video and feel like, okay, there is a solution to this and you're not alone. Okay, I will see you very soon in another video. I'm going to stop this video, put some thoughts down, and think about what next I should talk about, which I have a little bit of an idea, but hopefully by the time I finish filming a couple videos, I will feel better, which I almost kind of already do feel better. That was not inspiring at all. Sorry about that. Okay, at the end of the day, I love you so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon. Mwah.